Hello friends. So I really felt to come on and do a short recording, and it's about something that I recently came across, a quote that I came across on Facebook. And it was one of those moments in time where you've no idea why or what causes this moment of grace where your heart just cracks wide open. But there was a line in this particular quote, which I'll read in a moment, that just did exactly that. And it was like an arrow to my heart, but in a really beautiful, beautiful way, to just open it even wider and for this personality self of Anne-Marie to just dissolve. And just waves of tears, appreciation, love, awe, presence with that moment of realization of what the truth is, what love is, who I am, who we all are. And so, I really felt to share it, and there's so much in it. You could do a whole workshop on this and go very, very deep. But I feel to just start and see what wants to be shared, what wants to unfold. Unfortunately, I don't know who the quote is by. It was on a Facebook page called Rumi Love Poetry, but when I googled it wasn't recognised as Rumi. So it's quite often you hear people just putting quotes on pages, but I tried to find it, but I don't know who it's by. If you do know, let me know, or if you find out, let me know. I'd appreciate it. But in gratitude to the words and whoever did write these words, thank you. Thank you. So I'd encourage you to just take a moment to become really present, so you can really also appreciate these beautiful words and allow it to weave its beauty within your being, within your soul, and to give yourself permission to be here now, not to just say, I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes, or I'm going off to do something in a minute. Pause this or come back another time when you have got the time, because it's a gift to yourself if you can really absorb the beauty in this sharing. So just honour this precious, precious moment to be here, to open your mind and open your heart, however that feels. It's not about perfection, it's just about willingness to receive. Okay, so when the chamber of the heart opens, everything becomes sacred. Music is no longer notes, it becomes breath from the unseen. Poetry becomes prophecy. Art becomes prayer. Even the most ordinary gesture becomes a spark of the divine. You don't have to call yourself spiritual. You don't have to chant, wear white, or quote scripture. All you have to do is open. When the heart opens, what was hidden begins to rise. And suddenly, your life is no longer about success. It's about expression. It is no longer about proving. It's about pouring. That is how you become whole. Not when life gets easier, but when everything you touch begins to carry your soul's frequency. So the line that really cracked my heart open when I read it the other day was, "It's no longer about proving, it's about pouring." And I think why it touched me so deeply was this whole undoing that I've been on, and I think most of us are on when we're devoted to a spiritual awakening or devoted to coming home to truth and presence and love, is there's nothing to prove anymore. Now, for most of us, subconsciously, we were, without realizing it, born into a culture that praised or worshipped competition or achieving or success in form, i.e., material things, qualifications, esteem, position in life, a healthy, good-looking body, nice clothes, etc. You get the picture, okay? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having those things, but I think we have to be very, very mindful of also, when are we trying to prove ourselves? Prove that we are worthy, or prove that our opinion is right, or prove that yours is wrong, or to prove someone else is wrong in the world, a public figure, a prime minister, someone that we could judge. Don't we like to prove and be right and make the other person wrong, even if it's really, really subtle? And I think it's been incredibly humbling for me to watch that belief. And also the line about above that was, and suddenly your life is no longer about success, it's about expression. And again, this word success, to have a successful life, a successful career, to be a successful mother, to be a successful daughter, successful. And about expression instead. And that for me is about the expression of God, the expression of love, which is beyond this world. It's our spirit, it's our essence, it's our being. And that by its very nature is already whole and complete. So how could we be successful of that? We already are it. So there is nothing to prove. And I think for me to notice when I'm in conversation or in relationship with somebody, anybody, somebody I know very well or someone I've just met, it doesn't really matter, but to really be mindful to watch, am I trying to prove myself? Am I trying to prove something to them? Like I know something. And this can be very obvious, like pointing a finger. Yeah, no, I know this is right. And you did that and I got the evidence to show you. Or it can be very, very subtle, where we hear someone speaking, but then we have a belief that we have more information or more experience or the right answer. And how we then want to bring that in instead of just actually being present. And this is never about judging ourselves as being right or wrong, or judging another about being right or wrong. It's just noticing, when do I do that? Because if I'm doing that even subtly, even just a minuscule, am I really witnessing this person here? Can I really truly see them as they are? beyond the story, beyond the words. And there's a beautiful quote or line from A Course in Miracles that says, "Would you rather that you be right or happy?" And it's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah, we all want to be happy. But of course, how the ego mind, the I know mind, wants to be right many, many times. And this is the same thing as proving that we're right or proving the other wrong. And it becomes a war. It separates, it doesn't join. And it takes a lot of vigilance and awareness to see this happening. And when I read that, as I say, the other day, there was just this complete melting, crumbling. And there was no desire within me whatsoever to be wrong or right or to prove or disprove anyone. It was so clear that it's painful to do that. And I want to connect, I want to join and meet this person, whoever I'm with. And the Zen has a beautiful, Zen philosophy has a beautiful term for this. It's called the beginner's mind, where we come in with a blank slate, a clean canvas. And when we come from that place of the beginner's mind, by its very nature, we haven't brought all of the baggage or beliefs or so-called even education or knowledge from the past. And that's hard to do for most of us. It's very hard. But this practice is incredibly beautiful, where this blank slate, this beginner's mind. So, and particularly if you've known someone quite a while, or it's a family member, you know them very well. You know the ins and outs of them and certain traits they have. But I would encourage you, I would invite you to come with this beginner's mind, this clean slate. Can I be present without a past, without an expectation, without even the idea that I know this person? And that allows for us to really sit back, to be curious, to be open, really open-minded. And that's what it says in this quote. All you have to do is open. When the heart opens, what was hidden begins to rise. And that's not only in yourself, but in the other. And what rises in that safe space is new, it's fresh, it's clean, pristine. No attachments. And why would we then have anything to prove? Why would we even have to deem anything as successful or unsuccessful? Because both of them are past or future. And it's allowing all things to be exactly as they are. That's again the beginner's mind, the blank slate. And it takes, a lot of vigilance, a lot of mind training, a lot of willingness, again and again and again. It's interesting, as I sit here in presence talking to you, I can hear this beautiful blackbird singing its heart out in the garden. And it's very evocative of exactly this. If I'm here fresh, with an open mind and open ears, open heart. I can drink in the gift that the blackbird wants to share with me in an instant, in this very moment, fresh, new. And how often do we, or are we, in the getting mode, the achieving mode, planning, forging forward with the 1-year plan, the 5-year plan, the whatever plan. We miss so much. We miss so much. Some of you may be saying, yeah, but I need to plan, I need to achieve things. I have bills to pay, I have a mortgage to pay, I have children to feed. I get it. Of course I do. But when we learn to trust God, our infinite source, we learn to realize that everything is given us, and it's not through forcing or effort, it's through allowing. And this pouring that it talked about is no longer about proving, it's about pouring. And to me, that's a pouring of God's love through me. It pours through me so I can pour that out. My heart can just extend. It pours forth like a never-ending well or waterfall. It just pours. We never, for example, the Victoria Falls, for example, just keeps pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. And that's the same as God's love. It's the same as God's abundance. There isn't a lack in God. So this level of surrender and trust to allow that to pour through us, this moment, now, and to trust that you will be guided what your next step is. You will get inspiration, you will get nudges, aha moments. But you have to be here now to receive that. You have to have an open mind for it to pour through you. So yeah, my invitation is to just give yourself permission from time to time to pause, to really be present with yourself, of course, first and foremost, to open, to put aside your I know mind, to put aside even what you think you know spiritually or you've seemingly learned. And can you be like that beginner's mind? And drop your defenses, drop your ambitions, your achieving. And then notice this stillness, this presence, this awareness, this gentleness. And it's not passive, it's all powerful, but it's in a very, very different way to how ego wants to have you be in the world. And so practice this from time to time, to allow the pouring to come through and not to prove anything or disprove what someone else is trying to share with you. Can you just listen? Can you still love and be curious and present for that person, regardless of what you're believing about them or what they're saying? And just open your heart. And if you need to speak, you can trust when you come from that tranquil place, what comes out of your mouth will be loving and kind and generous. Yeah, and the first line again of this quote, when the chamber of the heart opens, everything becomes sacred. Music is no longer notes. It becomes breath from the unseen. Poetry becomes prophecy. Art becomes prayer. Even the most ordinary gesture becomes a spark of the divine. So let that spark ignite in your heart this beautiful flame, this light. And each breath allows the spark to expand into a flame. And we drink in, and we see with new eyes, we hear with ears of love and gratitude. Our whole being just melts into presence as we open, become empty to receive and allow the love and the grace to pour through our being. And then, my goodness, we can be truly helpful, truly loving, truly inspired, but not to get anything, not to prove anything. Just imagine what that would be like. How relaxing that would be. All stress just melts away. All striving dissipates. And we can hear the blackbird and feel the breath of life. You can see the sun shimmering on the ocean. You can melt into the arms of love. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being open. I trust whatever you need to receive from these words, from this message, will touch your heart. And then you can pour and share that in the world. Thank you, and I join you in that space. Thank you. Sending lots of love.